morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hello. And it's a new crew again today. We like to switch it up a bit. So, Vicky, we have two new faces. Well, to join us.
Kind
So,
of.
You're going to say no, we have an old face to join us? Because that's not right.
A familiar face.
We have a Mags. Mags is joining us for a special guest, special reporter on the scene for late breaking news.
That's funny.
And Denise is joining us. Denise, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm Betsy today.
You're Betsy today.
Yes.
That's what saying. I'm Betsy today. I could put that on t-shirts. I'm Betsy today, meaning I'm Denise Jarrett. I'm bright and I'm wonderful and I'm here.
And you're a mom. Look at that.
Yes, she is.
She didn't need a Denise Jarrett name tag underneath you. You just could go with mom.
When in the pre-show, as we were getting set up, Denise was originally set up in front of a beautiful window, but it was bright and everything was just a shadow. So all we saw was a silhouette of Denise.
Oh.
And so we made her move. And so she picked the perfect spot in her office to broadcast.
Great.
So
Actually, I'm in my kitchen.
What's that?
Actually, I'm in my kitchen.
Oh, your kitchen. Oh, nice. Okay. Well,
Is that a box of grits on the stove behind you?
That's a shelf. I had my dog food sitting there. And I moved it. Thanks, Mags.
Yeah, Betsy's not joining us today. She has just finished, just retired after 31 years of teaching. And so she is enjoying a little time to depress and relax. I think she'll still be in and out of a few things over the next month or so, but she's taken some time to unwind after a very long and storied career and doing lots of great service to music students in her neck of the woods. So congratulations, Betsy, on your retirement.
Well deserved.
Well deserved.
Yes.
Yeah. Enjoy a little bit of downtime, and then we'll look forward to seeing you back. We got lots of people joining us live here. Who we got? We've got Rick Cleland, who's just south of us here in Ontario. Ozzy, Melanie is joining us, and Amanda. So our two Aussie friends are right on the ball with us, right bright and early. Dee has joined us. We do Ann Fiordalisi. Let's see, Chris Friolo, I saw was in here. Also, Judy Stutz. We did the WikiTree challenge reveal this week, and she was the big winner. She, from the beginning of the challenge to the end, she moved 30 degrees closer to Diane Southard in terms of the CC, because of the CC7. So that was way to go, Judy. I don't know if she was personally responsible for making that connection that changed that, but that was kind of cool. Who else? We have Tia, Veg Beauty is here. Tommy Buck from Louisiana is here. Chris, I already said hi. Barbara Rue from Massachusetts. Hi there, Barbara. Susie Carter from Minnesota. Hillary Gatsby from Wales. Good afternoon and welcome back. Megs, so that's nice. And Janet Isles, I think. It's either ILES or LLES. It's hard to tell. Murray Maloney here, another Ontario Canadian person, and
Your neighbor.
My neighbor, yes. Yeah, that's right. And Murray and I will be online for the Tech Talk on Zoom on Monday. Also, we're having Megs as a special guest for that too. So speaking of Megs and being a special guest, is there any news this week, Megs, you want to share with us?
Hillary just pegged it. Collaboration. There you go, Hillary. I am so involved with WikiTree's DNA features, and I have been over the years for so long. And a lot of that work has been done in the background, like working with Peter Roberts to help create some of the ways we get things done, and with Greg helping him, making sure he doesn't go astray with all of his applications. But you know what that is like, having to handle Greg. Greg gets on those tracks, and all of a sudden, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so I've been so involved with this beautiful site, this wonderful way to do genealogy collaboratively, and with a lot of great influence from Chris Whitten and all the volunteers on WikiTree. I can't tell you how exciting it is to finally have a big name DNA company say, hey, we've got this integration going with MyHeritage over here, and we've had a lot of people ask us about, and really it was just me. I called them every 5 minutes for the past 2 years. When is FTDNA? Anyway, so many people were asking for an FTDNA WikiTree integration that FTDNA finally did it. It came out on Tuesday. The big announcement was Tuesday afternoon, and I've got some things that I can show you. If you have questions, let me see. Present. Wait. How do I make my screen? Uh-oh, there it goes. It's a different world, not being...
yeah, I was about to add it to the stage. Whoopsie. And
there we go. There we go. Sorry. Yeah, you need to add me to the stage.
There we go.
I can't do that. I don't have wizard powers when I'm a guest.
Sorry.
Yeah, so this is the blog, Katie Roche Warrants. If you don't know Katie, a cute little story. Katie and I've been helping out at the Family Tree DNA booth at RootsTech in the past 2 years. And Katie and I were sitting kind of back to back right after Katie's presentation, which WikiTreeer Martin McDowell had just watched, who is also with the Family History, the North of Ireland Family History Society, who have done lots of research on the people of Island Magee. Now, people from Island Magee, Ireland, came to South Carolina back in the 1700s, 1750 to 1772, and a lot of them, have gotten, a lot of those descendants have gotten DNA tests. Well, Martin McDowell, after Katie Rowe talked about her family at RootsTech in her talk, texted Katie with us sitting back to back and said, turn around and look at your cousin. Mags is your cousin. Now, if that's not a WikiTree FTDNA collaboration, I don't know what is. Because Martin is one of the leaders in the North of Ireland Family History Society that works on integrating their DNA group projects with WikiTree, which is an incredible resource. There are DNA group projects over at Family Tree DNA that can incorporate this new great way of connecting WikiTree and FTDNA. It's fabulous. It's fabulous. It's just fabulous. I'm so excited. Can you tell? So this is the blog post that Katie Rowe, my cousin Katie, wrote. And some of the images turn out really small, so I can try and get off to them. But she talks about how just doing one little thing. Now I'm going to show you what that one little thing. I'm going to head over. Here is my dad's WikiTree profile. You can see he's a cute little guy right here. But you see that I've got highlighted copy Goldenate. But if you click on that and copy that, see it's copied, and you head over to Family Tree DNA. I've already got my dad's dashboard pulled up. There's his mitochondrial DNA area, his Y DNA, and his mitochondrial DNA area. Did I say autosomal? I said mitochondrial when I meant autosomal.
Yeah. If
I go up to his name, just like WikiTree has a Mags Golden or a Fletcher Golden menu, Family Tree DNA does as well. If you go to account settings, click through, and then you have several different things you can do here. We're going to go to genealogy, to that tab, and we're going to scroll down. You can see where you can load your information for your MyHeritage tree connection, and then you scroll on down here, and you just take that little bit of the copy and paste that we just took, and it will add the correct format for that information. Make sure you copy it from WikiTree, take it straight over, hit save, and your WikiTree ID has been saved. All you have to do is hit save, and that's it.
Wow.
It's amazing.
That is the simplest integration ever. Ever. And they made it so easy. Ever. And okay, so now I have Dad's WikiTree ID on all of his stuff. And if he has granted the advanced access within the DNA group projects, like Martin McDowell, I guarantee you, if you don't know Martin, he's one of those guys that's constantly going. I guarantee you, he has gone in with the advanced access on his project profiles, all of his project members over at Family Tree DNA, and he has added this information to each one of the profiles. So as project administrators, if you give us advanced access, we actually can access the account settings, go to this tab, and add those WikiTree IDs for all of the DNA group project members, so that if you're on, you can see it. Now, Katie showed us that there are lots of tools on WikiTree that you can use to see things like the ancestors page, the DNA descendants pages. Now, these are different than what you think you're looking at when you're looking at adding your DNA test, in that the page comes up. So if I go up here and I want to add a DNA test to my dad, I click in DNA. It takes me to his DNA ancestors list. It shows his Y chromosome. It shows his mother's DNA test. Oh, cool. Somebody's gotten a confident relationship off that one. You can see all the DNA confirmed lines as well, which means that I have a DNA confirmation citation on each of the profiles for these profiles that go back. John Kingman is a part of the DNA group project, and his whole thing in WikiTree is making sure that if there's a DNA confirmation citation with that DNA confirmation statement. So he's got that going. But I'm showing you that you can look at the DNA ancestors, the Y-DNA, and the mitochondrial DNA, and the only site in the world who does this, WikiTree shows you the X-DNA inheritance line that my dad has. So that, if you have an X matched to my dad, that is one of the hardest things for people to wrap their minds around. But WikiTree gives you that information by giving you this list. But that's not the list that we're talking about. We're talking about a completely different list. So let's go back to my dad's profile. How do I get back there real quick? There we go. Going back to my dad's profile, if you click right here on this DNA number, it will show you all of Dad's DNA connections. And this is something else that Family Tree, that WikiTree does absolutely differently than any other site, is we don't give you a list or a group or a pile of matches to try and figure out how they're related to you. We take your test information, not your raw data, but just your test information, and we put it on your profile, and then WikiTree runs its algorithms and populates that information throughout the tree in the appropriate manner. So it puts all your mitochondrial DNA test information on all of your mitochondrial DNA tested ancestors profiles, on your Y-DNA ancestors profiles, and also on all those autosomal DNA ancestor profiles, back to about your fourth great grandparents. Sometimes it's a little bit less, sometimes it's a little more. But you can see that information here. Now, if you go to the DNA tested connections, you can also check out information like you could
a couple levels, Mags.
What's that?
Can you zoom in just a couple levels?
Yeah. It doesn't work on the FTDNA blog, but it does work here. So yeah, there you go. So, and you can see that you've got a family tree DNA test. This will take you over to family tree DNA to learn more about general tests. And you can also actually go straight from here. If I'm signed in at GEDmatch or at mitawydna.org, I can actually skip across and look at that. But also, I can go and I can compare using this. I can compare. If there were 2 or 3 other people on this profile with Y-DNA test, I could click this button. A little dialog box comes up, and it lets us actually enter another mitawydna.org ID, and you can actually compare those 2 Y-DNA tests, boom, right off the bat, and see if they're related. So if you've got somebody with a really high-level Y-DNA test that's just RM269, well, my dad is high-level RM269, but since he's done a big Y700 test, he has filtered down the big Y tree of life, and so if you have a RM269 haplogroup tester that's listed with my dad on this, you can actually go over to mitawydna and see those SDRs and see how much they actually match. You can do that as well with GEDmatch. If you've got several people who have a GEDmatch number. So I have a GEDmatch number here. Now, Peter Roberts convinced me to create a super kit, which means that I took all of my autosomal DNA tests, my Family Finder test, my living DNA test, my Ancestry test, and I've combined them all with this super kit. So this gives me the best DNA matches that I could have on GEDmatch. So I can compare over at GEDmatch. I could compare my X DNA over at GEDmatch because I match my dad's X DNAs and I'm on his profile. So hitting those. And I could look at the test details. I could jump over here and I could look at these test details. Now this is giving us that list. This a different type of list of DNA descendants. So this is giving me all of the living DNA test details of possible connections. And you can walk down here, you can go down through Anderson. I could go up here and do a find in page and type Galden and see if I have Galden DNA tested ancestors. So there's the first one. And let's roll down here. I don't have any X DNA tested ancestors. You know why? Because my father inherited his X DNA from his mother. Mm-hmm. There you go. So, but look over here to the right. You see this tab? It says Galden DNA. This shows me every single one of all of those Galden DNA testers that have tests on WikiTree. Alatil, Ray Duplessis, sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly. William Galding, Liz Shiflett, hey cousin Liz, William Mason. They're all of these people who have tested. This is a different kind of link, and I can go, oh, Alatil, what is his? So what is this? Albert J. So this is his. I am first cousins one time. Oh my God, 4 times removed to him. So you can see so much information by just going over to the DNA confirmed area and clicking on these test details. I can also, while I'm over there, let me go back to it real quick. I can go back to the test details of Ray Duplessis Jr. and his ancestry information. I can see that. And find if I can go to the Duplessis DNA and look at all of the Duplessis DNAs in my list. So is that not incredible? If I go here to the Galden list and I want to check out the a different spelling, a different surname, I type it in here because I know that my surname is a derivative of Galding, spelled I-N-G. I click go, and it gives me all of my Galding DNA tested WikiTreeers. Beverly Ward, Katrina, Bonnie Eldridge, Rebecca Wallace, Beverly Ward, Katrina, oh, there's Jeffrey Payne, Diana Morris, Billy Ward, William Galding. So it gives me all of these other people who have connections to my family, and I can just click on that link and just go over and see who all's over here on here. Jeffrey Payne. So I could see that those 3 people match me through this one ancestor of theirs, who is Alice J. Gaulding. There's just so much more that you could do. There's so much more that you could do. I can't even go on about it. But if you go to that link, if somebody would put the link to the FTDNA blog up, can I join the chat?
You can put it in our private chat, and then I'll add it to the live one.
Okay, there we go. Here is the blog for the family tree DNA. You have to run a little dialogue thing underneath. Now, I'm a part of Family Tree DNA's DNA Administrators Council. And what we do as a council is we're working on certifications for people who can work DNA group projects. We're working on a curriculum so that people can learn through FTDNA and learn how to do DNA group projects. So at the meeting on Tuesday, Janine asked me to present something about the DNA group projects we have on WikiTree. And we didn't have time. There were so many, items on the list. So I wrote a blog about WikiTree and Family Tree DNA group projects. Now here is the link to that. Excuse me. There you go, Greg.
Okay.
And I talk about how you can work some of the DNA group projects and why you would want to work them on WikiTree. What we do is we create free space profiles for the projects, because over at WikiTree or over at FTDNA, you're data driven. They're showing you the data. They're showing you all the matches. They're showing you all the SNPs and all of the YSTRs that you can see. It said data. If you go to a DNA group project, which I don't have pulled up right now, so let me talk. Gaulding DNA group project. And I go over to Family Tree DNA and I look at the Gaulding DNA group project, which is in the Golden project, don't ask. But if you go to the results, what you see is basically a spreadsheet of information.
See numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, numbers. And you can't do things like where was I? You can't. I just closed my own blog. Sorry. Back to that. Grandma's genes. There we go. For those DNA group projects, the reason why we started doing them on WikiTree is that I was working with 3 other testers on the Templeton surnames and stuff on WikiTree, and also trying to look at the data on Family Tree DNA. Now Jack and Ron Templeton had both worked up a spreadsheet on the Templeton family. When I started working with these 2 researchers on the Templeton surname, they kind of had the base of this chart put together. And when I started working on it, I started making discoveries regarding the Templeton surname and the Templetons and where we're from. And with the help of the North of Ireland Family History Society, they got me across the pond to Island McGee. And so here we've got new DNA testing, and research shows that all of these testers came from brothers, James, David, and Robert. I couldn't show this on Family Tree DNA. I couldn't show my research on Family Tree DNA. So I created a Templeton DNA group project. Let me go to that real quick. And all you have to do is type in Templeton DNA group project, and it will show you the WikiTree DNA group project as well. So here I've got a couple of charts, including the chart I just showed you, but I can talk about the reasons why I'm doing the work. I can show you some of the testing kits that have earliest known ancestors on WikiTree. I can do all that stuff. I can look at lineages. I can talk about why the Templetons are Irish. I can link over to the Templeton name study on WikiTree. I can write. I do a WikiTree introductory talk. I'm doing one in Santa Barbara in September. The very first thing that I talk about is the fact that you can actually give color to a profile. You can actually talk about your ancestors. You can't do that at any of the other sites. So WikiTree became a really good place for project administrators to freely place all of the talking points beyond the data. And the Campbell DNA Group project is on WikiTree. The Smith DNA Group project is on WikiTree. There's 2 different Smith DNA Group projects, and we're hoping that those 2 will get combined. But they're on WikiTree. The Irwin DNA Group project is on WikiTree. And those are 3 of the largest DNA group projects at Family Tree DNA. Can you imagine having 10,000 people in a project with a data set like what you're looking at in that spreadsheet I showed you? Can you imagine having 10,000 people to scroll through to try and figure out who they are and find out where they are, like Southern Appalachia, Georgia, and then we come down all the way at the bottom because we're really not related to them. Oh, we're on page 2 now. Down at the bottom, because we're not related to them, you'll see the Galdings come up.
Wow.
Yeah, we are. John Galding of New Kent County, Virginia. I see that, but it doesn't tell me anything. With the new integration and with being able to add your profile, the project admins, you're going to find that they're doing a lot more work because they've got a lot more information to work with because they're going over to WikiTree and they're grabbing that information. I hang out on Facebook a lot because the Facebook community is part of the Genealogy network. And I noticed that some of the posts where the integration was coming along, we had a couple of people saying, I can't figure out how to do WikiTree, or I've had issues with WikiTree regarding my African American ancestor. I was being forced to add this, and I didn't want to add that to the profile, and it was an interesting thing. And I just wrote a blog post. I just wrote a post on that one that told my story of finding WikiTree. And instead of throwing my hands up when I saw that my earliest Hunt ancestor was in a big jumbled mess, instead of throwing my hands up and saying WikiTree sucks, I said, if I just found this mess, other people are going to find it too. And as a genealogist, I don't want to propagate or copy that or duplicate this mess out in the world. So I worked for months. And this is when I first got the WikiTree. I disconnected all of the 2 families that had been combined. I made sure everybody was in the right place. I got sources. It took me 6 months of meticulous work to get this right, to create a profile for my earliest known ancestor, Dr. Thomas Hunt. I'm also showing you how easy it is to find profiles on WikiTree because all I do is type that in and it's going to come up in one of the top search engines. Let's try this again because there are a lot of Hunts. So Thomas Hunt, WikiTree.
Mags, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Your mic is really loud, and it's a bit. I don't know if you can, like, it's picking up way too loud, and it's bothering a few people in the chat. Can you?
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Can you?
Let me turn it down a bit
from it, or?
Yeah, I'm backing it.
You're wrapping up now, anyways. I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm wrapping up now. Yes, you're giving me the signal. Okay, so there we go. I'm backed off, and I hope it's better. New computer setup. This is the first time doing a live thing, so sorry.
That's why I tagged that it's a new computer setup for you, so people have.
Yeah, Linux. So yeah, so if you want to get everything so it's just right.
Yeah.
This is the profile of Dr. Thomas Hunt after I finished working on it, and it's a huge, wonderful profile. Look at all those DNA testers in that list.
Wow.
So yeah, so being able to get this information on WikiTree and taking the time and doing the due diligence, I want to give a shout out to South Carolina Day, their birthday, and I'm wearing a pin for the South Carolina 250 Commission. It's a group of people in South Carolina who are working on finding and locating revolutionary battle sites in South Carolina. A lot of people don't know that South Carolina was where the Revolutionary War ended, in cow pens at Kings Mountain and in the back country of South Carolina, of course, which is my heritage. So I just wanted to give a shout out to them. Thank you so much for having me. I'm sorry my mic was hot. I hope it's better. I also talk loud when I get excited, and I am.
You've been very excited, Megs.
I'm very animated. I'm very excited. This is humongous that this has come to fruition. Yay!
Yay! Thank you very much, Megs, for sharing that. It is huge news. It is huge news. Now there are some people here who don't do DNA, and some I think we've lost. We lost as you were talking it. But that's okay. We'll go back to our regular scheduled programming. But if you want more of Megs and more details, please tune in on Monday night. This Monday night is the regular monthly Tech Talk Zoom. And Megs will be our special guest. And she won't be doing exactly the same thing. She'll be talking about the same thing, but we'll be able to go into some more tech details about the tech and how to set it up and some of the special stuff. There's already been a request from Patty Waldron to talk about the projects integration and setting up those project pages and all that sort of stuff. So if you are interested in this stuff and you want to dive in and you want to hear an even more excited Megs, we will have the audio worked out by then because Megs just redone her whole computer to be totally Linux. So I'm sure there's a few drivers and special things that need some audio tweaking, which before we started, everything sounded fine. But
I got excited.
You get excited, you press the go live button, and then things change. So
I'm going to put my microphone across the room from me.
Well, Amanda says her daughter who's out in the yard can still hear you. So there were some questions, but maybe we'll see if we can answer them by at the end of the show if we have some time, or we will take those to the Tuesday show, which will be recorded. You could always watch after the fact as well. So thanks again, Megs. I hope you hang around and stick with us for the rest of the show. But I would like to invite Denise now as our other special guest to join us and to share the questions of the week.
Okay, I'm going to try to figure this out here.
Okay.
Share my screen.
Oh, you didn't even say biscuits once, Megs.
Oh,
No, I was going to say when I saw the bag on the back of her oven or stove there, is that a biscuit bag up there? Denise? No.
Yes.
but those are doggy biscuits, I guess.
Yes, those are doggy biscuits.
We're talking about human biscuits. What's that? I don't want to yell it.
There we go. So you need to zoom in a couple notches, Denise, so that we can see that nice and clearly.
Is that good?
I
Maybe
think,
one more?
yeah.
There we go. I think that's
This is a very interesting
there we
question.
go. I like that.
Okay. So, it's interesting that this is the question of the week, and I was asked to fill in for Betsy because I'm the team leader for the U.S. Black Heritage Cemetery Project.
Oh.
So this is interesting. And the question is, when a family member passes away, do you do anything special on WikiTree to honor them? And I know this is a difficult subject for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Some folks don't want to put anything on WikiTree until several months after. Some people are doing obituaries and they do it right away. So we've got a combination of responses. First off, Susan Ellen Smith said, "Thankfully, I haven't lost anyone in almost 7 years. But when she died, I added a picture of her headstone to her profile." And I'm guessing that when she says that, she's talking about a close relative. And then we've got next, my parents and brother. This is from Deborah Aiken. "My parents and brother passed before I started on WikiTree. I've made sure to personalize some bios by adding comments to my paternal grandparents and my parents." So that was pretty nice. And then we have Julie Pukowski. She said, "My mom passed away before I joined WikiTree." We've got several of those. But I wrote a detailed biography of her anyway. I plan to write a biography of each family member I knew personally.
Nice.
Yeah, that was very nice. And then when my mom's cousin Sheila passed away in 2023, I unlocked the profile and copy and pasted her obituary after asking my cousins if it was okay to post it. That's always good. Get permission from the family because others may be searching and they see that and may get upset. I then made the profile look nice and linked it to family members. I should probably add her picture at some point. I just haven't gotten around to it. And if we want to take a look at Sheila's profile, you can see it's been extended quite a bit with the obituary.
Denise, we can't see Sheila's profile right now because you're only sharing the window that has the questions.
Okay.
There, now we can see it.
Yeah. So there's the obituary. No picture yet, but she does actually have a sticker that she was part of the Havenville, Massachusetts One Place study.
Okay.
So there's a good example of where even if you don't have a lot in the biography, you can add the obituary.
That's nice.
And one thing I caution family members when you're adding the obituary, without the permission of living individuals, you don't want to include them. So when you're talking about who they're survived by, oftentimes we forget that a lot of those folks are living. So make sure you get their permission, like she did, to do that. Next, we've got my first family member to die since I joined WikiTree. My uncle was just a few weeks away. So sorry for your loss, Lynn. When I heard, I solemnly added his death date to his profile, making it open to view. I plan to go back and write a bio and everything else that needs to be done, but I'm waiting for the immediateness to fade before bringing it up to his family, to have my questions answered and to ask what they want future generations to know about him. So again, be mindful of how some family members may feel because of the immediacy. It may have been a sudden loss. Who knows the conditions of the loss? So when you're adding those to honor your family member, make sure you check with the other family members first. This was a good one, I thought. This was when my brother-in-law, William Roy Nelson, passed away in 2019. I wrote his obituary and gave it to the funeral home. I was told the funeral home that they would be deleting the first wife before they gave it to the newspaper, and she would not be mentioned at his service.
Why?
Yeah, I thought that was unusual. I added the original obituary to his profile, and I've also included photos and things about my wonderful brother-in-law, Roy Nelson. By using him in the G2G questions, I often try to honor family members through G2G, and I appreciate the way WikiTree allows me to add meaningful information about their lives. And what a wonderful picture of Roy.
Yeah.
Very nice picture of Roy. And of course, the link is there if you want to go back and see the actual obituary. that includes his previous wife.
Hmm.
Love that dimple.
And that's an interesting choice from the funeral homes. Do you think that was a direction from his children?
Good question. That's an excellent question. That was Alexis Nelson. I have no idea why the funeral home would make that choice.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a good question. Next we have Patricia Zietlow. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce that correctly. I haven't been doing anything, but this question has motivated me to do so. Minimally, I will be updating profiles, and depending on the relationship, I may add photos. Please do. We like pictures.
Yes.
We like pictures. So that's it for the question of the day. Question of the week, I'm sorry.
Nice. It's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about this until I read the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is something to think about.
Yeah. It was, well, we just celebrated my mother, my adoptive mother. She passed away on June 26th. So I've been thinking about her this past week. Yeah, and I did
2 days ago.
Well, 2 days. Yeah, well, she passed away.
Wow.
Yeah, June 26th, but in 87. In 87. So 38 years ago now.
Okay.
Yeah. And
but I have done a nice bio for her, and yeah.
Nice.
Great topic. Vicky, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. We have a short time, maybe. But you know what? I have 27 makeovers to show.
Oh, my Lord. 27?
Yeah, but I'll show them really quick, but they deserve to be shown. So I just want to make honor to them. Because, I have said this many times. I invited you to create makeovers for people related to the month of June, which means youth, childbirth, marriage, and the one who inspired this theme was Lynn Young. And she went ahead and created 25 makeovers for her ancestors who died young. I have to show you this. I won't show you the before photo. So I think this gives us ideas of what to do when someone dies young, because we don't have much to say about them. Right?
Right.
Maybe their lives were too short. So just these nice images, I see this as a pattern. They use a background photo and some symbolic photo as a profile photo. But we have sources and bios. But I'll be really quick. This is David H. Young. So you can see the background photos are really nice. You can still use stickers look, he had Appalachian roots. David Young died young. He was a descendant of Palatine migrants. He was born in 1869. Wow. But we can still do a nice profile for them. Look, she lived only 3 years, but she has a profile. Elizabeth Hazel Leona, nice picture. Unnamed infant, young. That's the protocol, right? If they didn't have a name, we use unnamed. Sorry. Dorcas Brown, Edith Irene. You see that she uses these baby images. Those are nice. Then we have a Tombstone, J. Lipsy, Thomas Lipsy, and so on.
Wow. Lots.
Wow. lot of work. So great work, Lynn. Thank you for inspiring this month theme. And this is something different. This is by Melissa Jamieson. You know, Melissa used to work on unknown profiles, and she did this amazing work with Margaret Dietrich Meta Thurkorn, who was a young mother. He had a lot of children. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 children. So
wow,
she really relates to the month of June. A nice photo. We have a nice biography, and this is amazing what Melissa does to give someone not just their names. She was an unknown. So now we have a biography for her, proper names, family, lot of children. So this is such a generous work, and this is died young also, George Lester Mutimer, and she also uses this kind of images, which looks like an angel. It's really sweet. And she created this biography, also stickers. So you can do a lot with someone who died young. He tragically lived for only 3 months. She included the cause of death. She describes something about the cemetery. She says this is the resting place for 6 young cousins. So, wow. That was a nice research work. So thank you, Melissa. And thank you for everyone who joined or challenged this month. I already thought the theme for next month. But I will only, I thought of July, and I said Jules, Julian, and Julia, and I immediately thought about the Beatles. I'm a great Beatles fan. So the theme for July is the Beatles.
Beatles.
I was thinking, you can do the makeover of Michelle, Mabel, Michelle, Julia. There is Father Mackenzie somewhere in Eleanor Rigby in that song. So you can use a Mackenzie, an Eleanor, or someone who was born in Liverpool. You name it. I will develop that idea and give you ideas to do. So our member of the week is Charlie Vines. Charlie is the coordinator of the Vaden name study and the Vines name study. He was born in Virginia, but he lives in Texas. And he's the team leader for the Texas Project Cemetery team. Just like Denise. Denise, you are also in a project of a cemetery, right?
Yes.
And well, Charles began his work in genealogy 30 years ago, when his personal life was becoming somewhat stressful, and he needed a hobby. So he started researching his wife's family, also his. He started interviewing people and researching, and he got hooked forever. He's also, he says, most importantly, he's a, how do you say, disciple? Disciple?
Disciple.
Yeah, he's a disciple of Jesus Christ. He says he has committed his life to walking after his teaching. He's an elder, teacher, and finance director in his local church. And married for 41 years, 3 children and 2 grandchildren. Nice. And well, as a team leader and coordinator for projects, he tells in his interview that you can read what do they need in his projects, in the Vines name study, in the Texas Project Cemetery team. So you can see here how can you help? They need help documenting locations and gathering information. So if you are related to any Baden or Vines or have ancestors in Texas, please go ahead. And what does inspire Charlie? Well, preserving my research, he says, and the research of my friend mentioned above, well, his friends. So I wanted to share something. This is a very long interview, and I lost what I wanted to share.
Sorry, am I distracting you with Tia's comment?
Oh no, I'm not watching. Sorry.
That's funny.
What does she say?
Well,
something funny.
Well, as you were talking about the WikiTree of the week and about how he took on this hobby, you know, she said, well, people told me to get a hobby, and when I did, they told me I'm a little obsessed. I just can't wait.
I knew it was something funny. She always does these funny remarks.
Really
I think we can all relate to that, Tia.
When you're busy presenting, you can't see the chats.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm sharing the screen. So it's about his focus. He loves cemeteries, Charlie, and he loves walking them and studying the tombstones. I love that too. And he says, I'm interested in finding and preserving the stories of people. I'm finishing with this. I respect those who focus on researching and preserving the memories of notables. But for me, it is the common people who preserve societies. People will remember the notables, while the common person will be forgotten unless preserved. So that's really inspiring. And I think that's what inspires all of us. Mm-hmm. So thank you, Charlie, for all your work on WikiTree. And I hope you get help with your one-name studies.
Excellent. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very good.
There was a question that popped up, or at least one that I started. When you were sharing all of those makeovers and talking about sharing the obit. And Denise, thank you for reminding people to, privatize the names from the obit. I don't think to do that, but I don't often copy the obits into the profile. I'll put a link to the newspaper of the obits, which of course I can't change the newspaper's website, so that will still list all the, but at least it's not right there on WikiTree, which could be scraped and found as easily. But the question is, if an obit shows a photo, can we use it for WikiTree? And I think if it's a photo, then we still need to ask permission of either the newspaper or the photographer who took the photo. So you can probably contact the newspaper, or if there's, newspaper.com, I suspect we do not have permission to show an image of their clipping. We can put a link to it, but we can't just take a picture of that and put it in the middle of a WikiTree article, or can we?
That's an interesting question, because those photos come from the funeral home. Right. And so is the funeral home obtaining permission? It's a good question.
Mm-hmm. And the family gives, the family actually gives that picture. So if you want to follow the trail back, the newspaper, the funeral home to the family, like my father recently passed, and his picture is up on his on his obituary, but that picture actually came not from the family, or no, that picture came from the family, but there's like a memorial that's been put up for him as well. And I would love to grab that picture, but that picture actually came from the family business. So I would have to contact the family business to get permission to use that photograph. It's a picture of my dad leaning over an architectural layout thing. Wow. So It's a great picture, but I don't want to grab it and use it because it's not mine.
Yeah, copyright laws are very, very funny. Yeah.
So, excellent question. Thank you for asking that, Susie. And I think Amanda, other people, including Amanda, had already answered it in the chat, but I thought it was important enough to bring it up in front of everyone. So,
gotta be careful.
Yeah. Let us move on to the connection checkers profiles of the week. And So here we are, and let me just zoom in just a little bit more. There we go. The theme for this week, endless summer, because we are now officially into summer. Well, we officially made into summer the last weekend, but anyways, here we are celebrating it with Connection Checkers, the first full week of summer that we've had. Also Connection because Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys recently passed away, so that that also brings the whole summer theme into focus as well. So we've got lots of profiles based on people who have done things or connected to summer pastimes, that sort of thing. And I'm wondering among you folks, who are your closest matches? And mine is, wait a second, where'd it go here? Mine is Elvis Presley, surprisingly, at 18.
Oh, me too.
Oh, like you.
Yeah?
No, mine is Ava Gardner. I don't know, how do you say, Ava or Ava?
I say Ava Gardner,
Ava.
but
We say Ava.
you say Ava. I think that could be a way of, I could be wrong saying it's Ava Gardner. I know that some people would pronounce that Ava. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mags and Denise, who are your closest?
I'm closest to Elvis, just like you, 18 degrees.
Brian Wilson. 16 degrees from Elvis Presley. 15 degrees from Ava Gardner.
15.
So, yep.
Okay.
Great.
I'll look at it and see.
I'm 20.
Okay.
Yeah, it bounces around.
Closer. I want to be closer to Elvis.
You want to be closer to Elvis.
Yeah.
To Elvis. So.
And here's how they're close, how they're connected to each other. So we don't have any close cousins amongst the notables there. Looks like the closest connection so far would be Brian Wilson and Ava Gardner, 17 degrees from each other. Interesting.
Which makes me think, you would think that Elvis would have more because he would have more Appalachian connections.
Yeah. Yeah, you you would think. So we are going to, let's start off. We can start off with Brian Wilson. And of course, since I've zoomed in, now all of my scrolling, I have to go back to the top again. Here we go. Brian Wilson, 14th cousin, once removed. There we go. Born in 1942, Inglewood, Los Angeles, California. Died just a few weeks ago at the age of 82 in Beverly Hills. Of course, notable from the Beach Boys. American musician, singer, songwriter, record producer, co-founder, principal songwriter, and creative force behind the Beach Boys. And there we have his signature. I always love to see their signature. I think that's so cool. Especially cool when it's, like from the last century or so. But here he is. Love that picture. Very nice. Son of Audrey Neva Korthoff and Murray Gage Wilson, who was a machinist. Shortly after his brother Dennis was born, the family moved to from Inglewood to nearby Hawthorne, California. Sadly, he, along with his siblings, suffered psychological and sometimes physical maltreatment from their father. And that came out in a memoir he published in 2016. But he himself was quite athletic in high school, played quarterback, as well as American Legion baseball, and ran cross country. So he was an athlete as well as a musician. Known as acknowledged as one of the most innovative and significant songwriters of the 20th century. The Beach Boys, quite a unique sound that they formed. The Beach Boys were not all brothers, which I thought they were, in fact, actually at one point anyways. I thought they were all brothers, and then I thought, well, maybe there's some cousins in there. But so it turns out it's he, his brother Carl and Dennis, and then a cousin, Mike Love, who's the uncle of an NBA superstar, and a friend. So we have who I guess was adopted into the Beach Boy family. Brian Wilson was the chief songwriter, arranger, and producer, and instrumental in shaping their early surf rock sound, creating the vocal harmonies that define their style. Surfer Girl, Fun, 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 I Get Around, great songs. Good Vibrations broke new ground. Took 30 sessions to record it across 4 studios, over 90 hours of tape, getting the song just right. Like, think of that. That is wild.
Wow. Yeah.
It should be renamed from Good Vibrations to Many, Many Vibrations. Imagine that. So that it is estimated tens of thousands, costliest and longest to record pop single ever. That's amazing. Sadly, he did struggle from mental health issues, but did have a solo career. Anyways, this is a great profile, and it goes on, and I invite you to go through and read it all. Some neat photos there, but quite a legacy he has left us. Then we have Pamela Anderson, born in the 60s, still alive, married to Tommy Lee. That's sometimes referred to as Pamela Anderson Lee. Canadian, born in 1967, daughter of still living parents. She was initially chosen as a Playmate of the Month, the Playboy magazine, and then married Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee, and that's why she known as Pamela Anderson Lee. Member of the animal rights movement, conducted campaigns condemning commercial fur industry and promoting veganism. And of course, she was on Home Improvement, Baywatch, which a lot of people probably first met her as well, and a show called VIP, which I don't know. Then we have Ernest Raymond Gant, born in Limestone, Texas in 1907, passed away in Honolulu, Hawaii in 1989 at the age of 82. So that name meant nothing to me, Ernest Raymond Gant. Does that name mean anything to you?
Only Gant.
Gant. Well, I know about Gant in terms of Gantt charts as a organizing.
Exactly.
That's the only Gant I know.
But I'm thinking, is he the organizer? No. He's also known as Don Beach. He was the founding father of the Tiki Bar. So if you think of, which is news to me. But if you think of summer and you think of the beach and wandering along the beach and there's a Tiki Bar and you want to get a cocktail, at least that's what I've heard of. I'm not a big Tiki Bar beach comber type of person, but anyways, that's what he's founding father of. He changed. He was called Don the Beachcomber because of his original bar and restaurant. He changed his name illegally, apparently first a few times. Don Beach Comber, then Don Beachcomber, all one word, and just settling on Don Beach eventually became his legal name. Anyways, he explored many of the islands of the Caribbean and the South Pacific, which is interesting.
Judy Stutz is posting a lot of really fun information. She says there was a tiki movement in Southern California, that one of his drinks was the zombie.
The zombie. Yeah. Wow. So I guess tiki bars are big, probably in Hawaii and the Caribbean. And he explored many islands of the Caribbean and the South Pacific. He was a bootlegger during Prohibition. Wow. Oh yeah, because he was born in 1907. So this is a while back. he started this career early. There we go.
That's probably why alcohol was such a big part of his background.
Yeah, really.
Was he born? Was he feeding his bottle was whiskey?
Probably.
Anyways, his closest competitor was Trader Vic, who also claimed to have invented the Mai Tai. So, Les Baxter, one of the founders of Tiki music, was also born in Limestone, Texas. Interesting, that little place in Texas, little area in Texas. Anyways, he's second cousin, 2 times removed from John Horton Slaughter. That name doesn't mean anything to me, but is that notable that you know of?
Oh,
anyways,
no.
And he and Robin Williams are distant cousins as well. Interesting. Oh, and there's a zombie.
The picture. Oh, the zombie.
Ava Lavinia Gardner, born 1922 in Smithfield, North Carolina, and passed away she was born on Christmas Eve, and then she passed away at the age of 67 and 1 month in January 1990 in Westminster, London, England. Famous actress and singer. born in a small town in North Carolina known as Boone Hill. Youngest of 7 children. Her parents were poor tobacco sharecroppers, raised in the Baptist faith. Her mother, Molly, received an offer to work as a cook and a housekeeper at a dormitory for teachers. And then eventually that teacher's school was closed down, and then they had to move, living in Newport News. Her father became ill, passed away. She attended high school in Rockridge, graduated in 1939. She was married, and this is a very, very well done profile, goes through a lot of her life. First of all, she was married to Ninian Joseph Rooney, also known as Mickey Rooney. And none of her marriages lasted very long. So her first marriage to Mickey Rooney went from January 42 to May of 1943. And they were worried that when she filed for divorce, she claimed he was gambling and womanizing, and but unfortunately, I don't know how you'd say that, it didn't ruin his clean-cut image. So the studios were worried about that. I love this quote here from the agent who hired her, Louis B. Mayer, head of MGM, who hired her to become an actress. She can't sing, she can't act, she can't talk. She's terrific. That seems like the exact opposite of what you want in a movie star, but it's counterintuitive.
She had the right look.
She had the right look. I guess that's all that really mattered. Anyway, so she was married to Mickey Rooney for a bit. Then she was married to Artie Shaw, famous band leader, again for about a year. And then Frank Sinatra lasted a little bit longer, married in 1951 until 1954.
Yeah, 3 years.
And that was, she claimed, her love of her life, according to her biography. Now, interesting, it says to 1954 here in the side information, but in the bio it says the marriage lasted until 1957. So there's a bit of a discrepancy there. So I'm not sure why that is exactly. Connected to aviator Howard Hughes. So she had an interesting life, but lots and lots of, look at all the movies and stuff that she did. Great stuff. So very cool, even into TV in the later years.
And I can say biscuit when we're talking about her because Boone Hill is in the Appalachians.
Is it? Oh, there we go, biscuits.
Biscuits.
Cool. Astrid Evangelina Weinhardt, Gilberto. So very short. Astrid Evangelina Weinhardt, German father, Fritz Wilhelm Weinhardt, and I believe Portuguese mother, Evangelina Neves Lebau, married João
Gilberto. João Gilberto Pereira Oliveira.
Thank you. Very nice. Excellent. And of course, her claim to fame.
Say that again?
Yeah, just say it again.
Oh, come on.
João Gilberto Pereira Oliveira. Is that close?
Yes. It's João.
João.
It's equivalent to John or Juan.
Or Juan.
João.
Yes. João. I was wondering whether it was a J sound or a Y sound, like Juan or João.
Oh no, it's a J.
It's a J sound. Okay, so she's famous because she's the girl from Ipanema.
Oh, she's not. No, she sang.
She sang Girl from Ipanema. Okay, I guess she's not the girl. She's the singer.
No, the girl of Ipanema is a neighbor of the restaurant where the authors of the song used to hang out. I was at the restaurant.
There was an actual girl.
And it's like two blocks from the beach of Ipanema in Rio de Janeiro. So they always watch this amazing girl, tall, blonde, and beautiful, gorgeous, and they composed that song for her.
Neat. Okay. So she's the singer of the girl.
Yeah, she's the singer.
do, 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 do. Anyways, it's such a catchy song. It's just great. And that's basically it. And then she died in 2023, so just a couple years ago. June. Right. So she could have been an ancestor, a June ancestor. Glynis Margaret Payne Johns, 21st cousin. Born in South Africa in 5th of October, 1923, Pretoria, South Africa. Passed away just last year, beginning of January, 4th of January, 2024, at the age of 100. I love it when they hit that. Los Angeles. Wow. Speaking of that, I actually have to play for a funeral on Monday locally here in Aurelia. And the person was 104.
Wow.
Isn't that cool? Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't think I've had a local funeral with someone that old. So that'll be a good celebration of life. Anyways, moving back to here. Glynis Johns, British actress, active in film, stage, and television. Her career spanned 8 decades while living to 100. That'll do it. More than 60 films, 30 plays, many television productions. Recipient of a Tony Award. She was the title role of A Little Night Music and A Drama Desk. And what I know her first of, and most and foremost, and many of you might, is in the film Mary Poppins. She was Mrs. Banks, the mother of the kids. You know, the mother of the bank manager. Yeah. So with Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke, she was the mother of the 2 little kids that they looked after. And remember, one of her roles was she was Votes for Women. She was a suffragette in that movie. Interesting quote: "Acting is my highest form of intelligence, the time that when I use the best part of my brain. I was always told by my married friends, for example, that I could apply that intelligence to something else, some other aspect of living, but I can't. I don't have the same flair in other things," which is interesting. Self-deprecating way. But anyway, she was a great actress. So there we go. And she was married a number of times herself. There we go. And you can see the list down the side. Wow. And then we have Duke Peoa Kanua Mokeoi Hulikohola Kahanamoku. Yes, I practiced that. I didn't practice it right before but yeah, Peoa Kahinu Mokoi Hulikohola Kahana Homoku, also known as the Big Kahuna, born in Hawaii. Yeah, born in Honolulu in 1890, 24th of August, 1890, in the Kingdom of Hawaii. Passed away in 1968 at the age of 77 in Honolulu, Hawaii, United States. Because Hawaii didn't become a state until the 40s. When did it become a state? You guys
I have no idea.
I think it was in the 40s. I don't know. You Americans, someone will know. I know that obviously it wasn't. It was the Kingdom of Hawaii when he was born, so it became a state later on. After that, at some point. But his claim to fame is he competed. He was a swimmer. Competed in 4 Olympic Games, won 5 medals. One of them a gold medal, and 100 meter silver medal with the second place U.S. relay team. Another gold in 1920, silver medal in 24. The gold, and when he was silver, the gold went to Johnny Weissmuller, and the bronze went to his brother. That's interesting. And he was also part of the U.S. water polo team. He was credited for introducing surfing to the world. So, and of course, the Big Kahuna is a big name in surfing. And we actually had a surf shop in Aurelia. I don't know why, because I don't think we get very many waves to go surfing, but you could buy surfing boards locally here, and it was called the Big Kahuna, the shop. So here we are.
Then we have the date. Sorry.
Oh, it was 59. It wasn't even the 40s. Later, 50s. Thank you, Rachel. There's always someone in the chat who will fact check us. So that was great. Next, we have James Vincent de Paul Lafferty. Inventor of the famous first construction of Lucy the elephant. And this little profile picture is Lucy the elephant. I have no idea who Lucy the elephant was, so I had to zoom in on that. And there is the statue of Lucy the elephant.
Where is that?
Which I'm guessing is in Philadelphia? No. Wait a second. The Light of Asia, American inventor, most first construction of Lucy the elephant. The Light of Asia, also known as Old Dumbo. Where is Lucy the elephant?
Wow. Wait, Wikipedia. Well.
Where is Lucy the elephant? Well, here, let's just click on Lucy the elephant.
It's
amazing story.
Got a patent for
New
it.
Jersey.
Wow. New Jersey. Oh,
it's in New Jersey. Okay. I've never been to Margate City, New Jersey. Okay.
It's not on my bucket list, but it will be now.
It will be now to see Lucy the elephant. Okay. Are people in the chat screaming at me? They answer. Anyways, there we go. So that's his claim to fame. So then, of course, we have Elvis. Elvis's profile is very long. We'll just say it starts off. He was born 8th of January 1935 in Tupelo, Mississippi. Passed away 16th of August 1977, age of 42, Memphis, Tennessee. Of course, very famous singer, actor, king of rock and roll, one of the most significant cultural figures of the 20th century. I suspect most people here know about. I did not. Did you know that though he had a twin brother, Jesse? But unfortunately, Jesse was stillborn. So, yeah, he was raised in poverty. Relied on government assistance. Ended up. His father, when he was 3, his father was convicted of forging a check written out to a man named Orville Bean. Ended up serving about a year in custody for that. And ironically, Elvis's 5th grade teacher, who was credited as the one who first discovered his musical talent, was that Orville Bean's daughter.
Oh, what a coincidence.
So, yeah. So his dad got in trouble with the family, but then the daughter of that family helped, sort of start things off for him. Early inspiration in gospel music, of course. Got guitar, started performing at age 10, and then, things took off from there. Rubber Legs, famous for his Rubber Legs dance. Anyways, it's a well-done profile. Goes through lots of his life, even his military career, his film, of course, talk about his family and whatnot. So,
and Fiordalisi was asking why he's with the theme of the beach. Because
the beach.
In a movie,
yes,
in a movie called Hello Hawaii or something like that.
Blue Hawaii was one of
Hawaii.
Yeah, one of his big movies. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, that was his. Yeah. Where we are. Yeah, Blue Hawaii. Now, I don't know if that's the only beach-related film that he's done. I seem to think he's probably did other ones, but that was probably his most famous one. Yeah, that's his connection. April Ross. Ooh, one of my close 9th cousin once removed. Born in the 80s, so she is still alive. American professional beach volleyball player from Costa Mesa, California. Married for 8 years to a men's volleyball player and divorced in 2018, remarried in 2024 with a son. Attended University of Southern California in Los Angeles. And her nickname is Ross the Boss. Yeah. So beach volleyball player. There we go. Neville Shute. Neville Shute Norway, his full name. Born on 17th of January, 1899 in Ealing, England. Ealing, London, England. Passed away the 12th of January, 1960 at the age of 60 in Melbourne, Australia. So his full name is Neville Shute Norway. And his professional career, he was an aeronautical engineer. And he spent his later years in Australia. but as an author, which we may be more familiar with him, as he just used Neville Shute as his pen name. Younger son of Arthur Hamilton Norway and Louisa Gadsden. His father was a classical scholar, author of a number of travel books. Mother was the daughter of a major general. That sounds like a Gilbert and Sullivan line from the Indian Army. He was fascinated by airplanes and building models, and he did some military service. And of course, all of that led to his engineering science and then work in the aeronautical career, engineering, as well as he was an engineer as well as a pilot. Worked for the de Havilland Aircraft Company. Took a position with Vickers Limited and then Airspeed Limited. Also worked in the Royal Naval Volunteer Reserve in the Second World War, and then became famous as an author as well. Town Like Alice, one of his best known ones. The one that I read, On the Beach. And the description here is very apt. It's the most haunting, describing the end of the human civilization as the result of nuclear war. Very well-written book, but just, haunting, disturbing. Very well. Anyways. And then the last one, Waverly Bernard Woodson Jr., born in 1922 in Philadelphia, passed away the 12th of August 2005 at the age of 83, Gaithersburg, Montgomery, Maryland. Part of U.S. Black history. He was an Army medic in the Second World War, saved dozens of wounded troops on the beaches of Normandy on D-Day, which happened, the beginning of June, despite being severely wounded himself, and estimated that his actions saved the lives of as many as 200 soldiers. So on D-Day, there's a great profile here talking about his life and his military service. There's his official photo here, and then this is another photo of him taken as the official Army photograph, and then official U.S. Army portrait. That's interesting. So I guess this is a photo, and that is that a painting? Is that what it means?
Maybe it's colorized.
And they're both officials. Can you have more than one official photo or portrait?
Yeah.
Anyways, so on D-Day itself, he was wounded just as they were getting ashore, but he still kept working through that, and that's when it said, he was just on the approach to the beach. So he hadn't even arrived at the beach when he was wounded, but he continued to work anyways for over 30 hours looking after other wounded soldiers. And that's when it said that his estimate he saved as many as 200 lives that day. Very impressive. So we got there's an interesting part here about his medal. He was awarded medals at the time, and they he was awarded the greater honor of, so he was given the Distinguished Service Cross, and he should also get the Medal of Honor, the highest warrant. He did get the Bronze Star Medal and a Purple Heart, and I think looks like they're still trying to award that final Medal of Honor designation to him. So impressive service.
Yes, and a great photo.
Yeah, a great photo. Yeah, love those. Yeah, very cool. So that takes us back to the question. That's the profiles of the week. There we go. Hey. So lots coming up this week, and I didn't get that ready, so let's just do that right now. The social media, Lisa has updated this so we can see that coming up this week, there is on Monday, as I mentioned already, Tech Talk. So that takes place at 6:00 on Monday evening, Eastern Daylight Time. So Toronto time, New York time, that time zone there.
Santiago time.
6:00 Eastern Daylight Time. Monday night, and that's a Zoom link. So you click on that, and it'll take. So then it can be a lot more interactive because you can ask questions live right there. And Megs will be one of our special guests on that.
Yay!
And I have corrected my microphone issue.
Yes, that does sound much less.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just checked the system setting and it was set to 100%.
Oh, that would do it. That would do it. Oh,
thank you, Max.
Ouch. Okay, thank you for fixing that. The question of the week also: do you have an ancestor who fought in the American Revolution? Well, because July 4th is coming up next weekend, right? So,
right.
Wilson was the one named study. We'll play connection checkers, and we'll see what the theme will be next week. Thumb Lake, Michigan is the one place study. We will have an Ask Alesh because it'll be the first Wednesday of the month, coming out on Wednesday, right after Canada Day. And then the Connectathon will be the event that we profile. It doesn't start on Thursday. The Connectathon itself is actually later in July, but you can sign up now. So if you haven't already signed up for a team for the Connectathon, please do. And there's lots of teams to choose from. So it's a lot of fun in July. We'll be adding more profiles. The Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, Brian Wilson, will be featured on Friday. And meet our members, Michaud 221. We will find out all about her. And we will see you back here next Saturday. So
yes, next Saturday.
Yeah.
Amanda was asking if we had any pictures of the week. There's no more pictures.
No pictures this week. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. I think that's it. There were in terms of the G2G, the big thing was, of course, the FT and DNA, but there was also another one that you might want to check out. Chris Whitten has asked about, and let's see, about the plan for connecting biological parents. So this has been something we've been talking about for a while, is allowing two sets of parents for people who are for adoptees to have adoptive parents as well as biological parents connected to one profile. And so if you are in that boat, or if you have some thoughts on that, please read that G2G post and give your thoughts back in terms of one of the answers. There's 2 answers to choose from, and you can add your thoughts to that. So if you haven't done that already, then that's something I'd recommend. Just check that out. And when you go to the G2G, of course, also the pin to the top is the place you sign up for your Connectathon. And also the next WikiTree challenge, which will happen in a couple weeks, will be Catherine Wilson, and Chris Ferriola, who's in the chat, will be the team captain for that one. So that's what's happening and how to get involved and all that other stuff. Whew. And we made it before 11:30.
Yay! That's a record.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
No, that's okay. That was all great stuff. And,
yeah, we had no photos, no ancestors to celebrate. So
right.
I did actually go to the website and grab the photo of my dad, if you want to see it.
Sure. Show it to us.
Oh, sure.
Go ahead and put it up there, Greg.
Oh, right. Look at that.
There you
That's great.
Wow, that's a great picture.
That's an excellent picture.
Beautiful.
Lovely.
Right.
Excellent.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Max, for joining us again. You're welcome back anytime you want.
Please,
very much for having me. And I'm sorry I was such a loudmouth.
Oh, yes. Well, you know what? Before, it didn't come across like I didn't pick up that it was at the 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, we were so excited to see you anyway.
Yeah,
so.
and I didn't want to
yelling just as much.
It was nice to be here. It was very nice. It's like going back home.
Yeah.
And
Denise, it's great to have you here as well. I'm looking forward to having you here. I mean, we want Betsy as well, but we're happy to have you. We're very happy to have you. So even when Betsy comes back, you can still join us.
She said at the beginning, she says, "I'm Betsy today," and I want to get a T-shirt that says, "I'm Betsy today."
That would be fun. Anyways, have a great week, everyone. Thank you again, everyone who joined us, everyone who's there live, and those who are watching after the fact. We'll see you all in one of the other things happening this week. Take care. Have a great week.
Have a good week. Enjoy the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you, Didi.
And happy Canada Day when it comes on Tuesday. Happy Canada Day. Woohoo.
We're in red.